Family goes, oh, na, na, na. Oh, na, na, na.
Purchase your
Come kick it with the Casey's. All that love and all those babies. C-A-S-C-Y. Welcome to the lights. Welcome. C-A-S-C-Y. DJ Envy and Gia, oh, oh. It's time to kick it with the Casey's. You're tuned into the Casey crew.
Hey, what up, y'all? It's DJ Envy.
And I am Gia Casey.
And this is another edition of the KC Crew.
Welcome. Hello, 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 beautiful people.
Hopefully you guys are doing amazing. I want to start off by saying, if I look a little tired, Ben's had me out and about last night in these streets, and I'm tired and I'm beat, and I ain't even going to front. She had me out, and Gia can't do much better because when I got home, Gia was still up on her phone and watching television and playing. Actually, the baby was up. She was feeding the baby by the time I got home.
It was like 10:30.
No, it was later than that. It was like 12.
No, but it was like 10:30, and the baby woke up and told me that she was hungry. She's like, I need you to feed me. And I tried to convince her to go back to sleep, and she would not. She was like, I'm so hungry, Mommy. I need some food. Please go to the kitchen and get it. I said, okay.
So you waited for Daddy to, oh no, you had the food.
No, but then I'm feeding her. She's playing. You got home at what time?
12:30.
About 12:30, yeah. She was still up playing and eating and wanting more water. I had to pick her up and take her all the way downstairs and get more water. Yeah, anything for my baby.
That's right. Well, by hearing this, you could tell that our nanny, Irma, is not back, but she is back this week. So next week, we'll be like, Irma's back to fucking.
No.
What? I say something?
She's not actually going to be back by the time that we record another podcast.
When's she back?
She flies in on Saturday.
Right, so she starts on
I'm
Monday.
giving her Sunday so that she can get herself back together. She'll be back on Monday.
Oh, well, next week, Monday night, we going to be fucking a lot. Loud, too. 'Cause that baby sleeps right in between us. But anyway, so today I wanted...
with her in the bed? Is
no, I said the baby be right in between us and we can't be getting it in.
I was like, what's happening? Like, where are you going with this? Okay, you mean she won't... He meant she won't be in the bed.
They understood.
I did.
Well, today's topic I wanted to talk about is when do you let small arguments go?
Okay.
All right. If you know, Gia and I have been together 30 years. We've been married 23 years. And in a relationship, there's sometimes I feel you should let the little things go. Mm-hmm. If it's a small argument, something that doesn't necessarily matter, why hold on to it? Why is the need to have a conversation? Why is the need to talk about some of the bullshit that we don't have to talk about, especially...
Did you just ask, why is there a need to have a conversation?
On the small things, yes.
Anybody that's been rocking with us right now is thinking like that emoji.
What?
That
what?
Emoji? Or is it like this and a side eye at the same time? I think it's with the side eye. Because everything that you recommend is always falling on the shoulders of having a conversation.
Well, that's true, because usually those things are something that's big and it's something that can affect the relationship.
Your answer to every email is, you know, I mean, I think y'all just have to have a conversation.
Because those questions are harder.
You know what? I mean, if you ask me, I think that they just need to have a conversation.
Those questions are difficult, but when it's something smaller, I don't think, well, let's talk about it. Do you think everything needs a conversation?
I don't think everything needs a conversation.
So when do you decide to let arguments go?
When there's a meeting of the minds, or when...
No, sometimes it doesn't have to be a meeting of the minds.
When you actually agree to disagree. Because sometimes we get to a point where we're at an impasse, and I'll say, you know what? We can just agree to disagree. We don't have to.
No, I'm not talking about
agree on everything.
I'm not talking about an argument like that.
Not even that.
I'm talking about
sometimes it's a little discussion, and it might be like a little bit of a back and forth. It doesn't venture into the land of arguments. It's just a little discussion. It doesn't have to be anything in depth. And sometimes I say we have to agree to disagree.
See, I'm different from you. I feel like if it's something that will not make your relationship worse or better, I think let it go. I think we get to a point sometimes where it's like, I'm explaining. I think sometimes if it's something is so small or minute, whether it's, hey, babe, I tell you to clean the toilet seat or not to pee on the toilet seat, and he continues to do it. That's not a fucking argument. Because, see, that is not where the arguments and the problems in a relationship occur. It's out of that, right? Because it's never about the toilet seat. It's a bigger problem that creates bigger things. And now you're arguing over something you did in 1999. No, it's not.
I think it's about the toilet
No,
seat,
it's
actually.
not. No, it's not. Those arguments, if you really think about something small, those small arguments start off with something very, very small, very, very minute, which goes into something bigger. Like I could say...
Sometimes, but the toilet seat is not one of those examples.
Okay, maybe
the toilet seat is about the toilet seat.
I don't know if you've seen this. They have this trend online, and we don't argue about the toilet seat, honestly, because we got our own bathroom.
No, but we did. Like, if you were with us in the beginning, like, I don't know, 6 years ago, we used to argue about the toilet seat.
Well, I got my own toilet seat now.
Well, we don't, because now we have our own bathroom.
Correct.
So,
but just to tell you something funny.
That's the only reason why.
The other day, Brooklyn went in my bathroom to take a shower. What did she say? Do you remember?
No. Oh, yes. She said that she went to pee and it was tinkle on the toilet seat.
She did.
And she was very upset about it.
She was very upset about it. What I told her, use your damn toilet seat.
But see, Brooklyn would agree with me that it is, in fact, about the toilet seat. Like, you're a grown man. Where's your aim?
See, and now there's a challenge online right now. I want you to Google it, right? Where they put a hose in between a woman's leg, right? A water hose. And they put a bucket there and they tell a woman to pee in the bucket, right? And while they're peeing in the bucket, the man is holding the hose. So he's stopping the hose, firing it back up, and the water's going everywhere. And sometimes the water goes out. Peeing is not as easy as it seems.
I mean, it's easy for me.
No. And I don't even know. I don't even know how we get into this conversation. But peeing for women is simple because you sit down. It has to go one place. But guys, sometimes when you wake up in the morning, you wake up with a boner, and now your penis is longer than it usually is. So your aim's a little different. Sometimes when you pee, it just goes out of all different angles. Like there's mad different holes down there. Like, am I lying? Okay. He said no.
Please
sometimes
equate the pee pressure to the water pressure of a hose.
But that's what the guy did, and people understand. But outside of the pee, back to the small arguments, right? I feel like a lot of times, and I feel like this is especially with women, you guys like to nitpick on the small things and forget about the big things sometimes. Sometimes I think in a relationship, the best thing with a relationship is to let things go.
That's the best thing in the relationship,
I think so. If it's something small, you let it go. That's what it says.
Why are you laughing?
Sometimes the battles mean nothing, and it's to actually win the war. And you women want to win the battles in the war. And sometimes it's just a matter of just letting shit go when it's small.
Sometimes there would be no war if you didn't instigate a battle.
See, that's your problem. You always want to make it about instigating. You use these words that are hyper-focused on beefing. You use these words that are hyper-focused on causing trauma, causing problems, gaslighting. Those are the words that you use.
No. It is important to have those little conversations. You're calling it battles. Some call it small arguments. But it's important to get through those weeds so that you can end up on the same page. Because if not, then you're just going to be harboring micro resentments throughout the course of the relationship. And then it's like a powder cake. At some point, you're just going to explode. When you have a grievance, when you're upset about something, when something makes you feel some type of way, you have to feel comfortable enough to come to your person and say, hey, this is bothering me. Or, hey, this is making me feel a certain way. We need to talk about it. Because if you care about me, then you are going to do your best, again, if it's within reason, to not do those things or to accommodate me. Do you know how much accommodating I do in this relationship?
I didn't ask.
Well, I'm going to tell you a lot. I accommodate a lot.
How you asked me a question and I said I didn't ask, and then you still going to tell me anyway? You might as well just said, well, let me tell you how much I accommodate in this relationship.
You're right. Maybe I should have led with that.
You should have. Go ahead.
But yes, because I care about you. And when you have an issue and you let me know, I change. Or I do what I can to ensure that you are happy and, as you would call it, warm and cuddly.
No, but this is the thing, right? I get upset a lot about certain. I'm not going to say a lot. I do get upset at things, but a lot of times I let it go.
You don't get upset. You don't get upset a lot.
Not a lot. I do at times.
You're not sensitive.
No.
You're not sensitive.
So I'm going to break down. You guys always ask about what Guy and I argue about. Sometimes we tell you. Sometimes we don't. Actually, we forget. I'm going to tell you about our last argument. We have 4 beautiful daughters. right? Madison is 23. We have an 11-year-old. We have an 8-year-old. And we have a little baby who's 2, about to be 3. Now, I'm one of those dads. I don't mind taking the kids anywhere. I don't mind being anywhere, especially with Irma there. It's like it's like hut. You go left, I go right, and then we meet back later on. That's what we have to do.
Bringing up?
Yes.
I had to stop for a second. I didn't know where you were going. I thought you were going to bring up our argument from like 3 weeks ago.
No, this one. This was our most recent argument, which Gia decided, you know what, I'm going to let it go.
This isn't going to end well.
We never talked about it again. See? You can't even have a conversation. This isn't going to end well.
It's not, because, sorry to jump ahead, but I decided to let it go. Without an argument, without a long drawn-out conversation, I said to myself, my baby is working hard. Maybe he's a little stressed.
Now let's get to it.
S. Before he left, he said, can you please do me a favor? Can you just forgive my boy? Can you please just cut him a little bit of slack? And I sat there and I thought about it. And I said, Gia, you can pull up your bootstraps and you can do that. And I did that.
That's not what you said.
S. I did it.
That's not what you said.
Okay.
You actually said, I'm going to make him pay.
No, originally.
That was before she said that?
What I said?
No, I didn't. I heard it on the I heard it on the cameras.
Did you really hear it on the cameras?
Yes, go ahead. I'm going to make him pay.
No, I said it in a room where there was no cameras.
Yeah, I got cameras everywhere.
No, there are no cameras in that room. Did you hear it from the kitchen camera?
Don't worry about where I heard it from.
Anyway.
Yeah, on the steps, I heard y'all.
I was initially intending on being very spiteful. It's not really spite. I just call it giving people what they deserve, because sometimes I feel like I'm too nice, right? So I was intending on treating you the way that you treat me. But I said, you know what? I am just going to let it go. Now you're running the risk of bringing it back up again, and you might stir up some feelings. And if we get to disagreeing on this podcast, I don't know if it's going to end well. So I'm just saying, this might be something that you want to think about.
So back to what I was saying. Now, this is the original question, and now we're getting to someplace, because before she was like, we have to talk about everything, but now we're at a point. So
I'm just saying we didn't get through it on our own before we brought it to the people.
Hot stuff.
You see? Because I let it go.
Listen, hot stuff. So what made you decide to say, I'm going to let that go? And that was my question. When do you say I'm going to let the small things that bother me go? No.
Now it's a cliffhanger. Now it's not. You can't do that.
You just said don't tell him because it might be a problem. Then when I'm about to tell him, it might be a problem.
He cares more about the potential beef that we're about to have.
I care
about y'all.
I care.
He heard that warning.
I care about the let go. And that's what I was asking, because I knew you would get to this point. So what made you decide to let it go?
We have to tell them what happened. No. Or else, I mean, if I were you, I'd be really upset.
So tell them.
I'm not going to tell him. You can tell him.
Okay, like I said, I have 4 beautiful girls. And unlike most dads, I don't mind doing anything for my daughters, even taking them to dance. There's 2 things I don't like in the last couple of months. One is going to Pilates without my wife and my daughter. I told you that, guys, that before. It just makes me feel uncomfortable. Like it is.
We were embarking on our journey. Remember?
It makes me feel uncomfortable. So I do not like going there. Women are wearing close to nothing. And you have to look across to other, like in the mirror. I never want anybody to think I'm checking them out. So I don't like it. It just makes me feel uncomfortable. That's 1. And 2, I do not like taking baby Peyton into her dance class. Why? Because it's a dance class. There's a bunch of young girls in there. They're coming out the bathroom. They're getting dressed.
They're not getting dressed.
Like I said.
They're not getting dressed. That is not true.
Let me talk.
They're not getting dressed.
That's the problem in this relationship. I can't speak. Let me know when I can talk.
You can speak.
Like I said, so when I drop the girls off, there's girls in there leaving the bathroom. They go in there wearing dance clothes. Sometimes I feel uncomfortable. I do not like bringing my daughter inside. Now, I pick up my kids all the time because outside is like a little lobby area where you can wait. But with the baby, you have to actually walk into the studio.
And past all of the other fathers that are in there watching their daughters.
But I don't like to go in the studio. All the fathers are on the outside. They're in the lobby.
No, they're there watching their daughters dance through the window.
No man is way in the back. I don't like it. I feel uncomfortable. I just don't want to be it. And especially, I just don't trust people. I never want somebody to be like, I seen the way he looked at me while I walked past. I'm going to sue him and get the same lawyer as Diddy. I just don't like it. That's just how I feel. I don't need a hotline at 1-800. Check if Envy's watching you. I don't want that.
Because that's where this is all leading.
So
apparently.
I tell my wife, I don't want to do that. I feel uncomfortable. Okay. Now, ladies, if your husband says he doesn't like something or something makes him feel uncomfortable, you make sure that you don't have to put him through that, right? Correct. I know. You're out there agreeing like, yeah, Rashawn, yes. Yeah, babe. So.
And had I not done that for you in the weeks prior?
So one day.
Just answer that question. Had I not done that for you in the weeks prior?
Yes.
Okay.
I had to bring him one time. So one day, I'm picking up the girls. And another thing that I always tell Gia is give me the schedule. Let me know what my schedule is. And the reason is I like to be prepared, right? I hate when, they got this today. Because I'm a father. I'm a bad father when it comes to my girls, right? And when I mean bad father is I'm the one that's going to put their dress on backwards, right? The other time, like I told you last week, I brought her to dance. Her dress was on backwards. Her nipples was hanging out. My bad. I mean, she's only 2 years old. They laughed at me the whole time. I forgot to put stockings on her. I put her left foot on the right foot on the left foot. I put her tap shoes on when she had ballet. I'm that dad. It is what it is. At least she was there. Her hair, bing, her hair is done. That is me. I just spit on myself. But that is me. So I pick up Brooklyn. I pick up London. Because like I said, the nanny's not there. So I'm doing the pickups. No problem. Pick them up. Cool. I'm on my way back home. London goes, where's the baby? I go, at school. She doesn't have to be picked up till later. She was like, the baby has dance. I'm like, Call Gia. I'm like, hey, babe. She goes, hey. I goes, does the baby have dance? Gia goes, oh, shit, the baby has dance. I said, okay. I said, all right, well, I'm going to grab her. I'm going to bring her home, and then you drop her off because baby, baby, I love you so much. I dislike taking it in, and you would never do anything to make me feel uncomfortable. She made me feel uncomfortable. Matter of fact, I should sue you for making me feel uncomfortable. So I had to drop the baby off in class, which I just told her I didn't want to do. But my point was there was no feelings for me. Nobody said, baby, you okay?
You left out a big part of the story.
Does this make you uncomfortable? So I had to
part two?
I had to take the baby, and I didn't like that. So I had a little attitude. I wasn't as happy as I usually am. I wasn't as cheery as I usually am. I wasn't as romantic and a lovey-dovey, baby, I miss you so much. I can't wait to see you when I get home. I wasn't that guy. So she goes, oh, are you upset? And I'm like, to the one person that left the comment, close your ears. I was like, yeah, nigga, I'm upset.
And what, the 11 people that liked his comment?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
If you know what we talk about, somebody last week on YouTube said I use the N-word no more. It was a Caucasian person.
No. They didn't say, he said he was not, I think he might have put it, I'm not African-American.
He wasn't black.
And he's offended when Rashawn uses the N-word.
So I only use it one time. So I told you to cover your ears. So if you listen, cover your ears. So she asked me, what's the matter? Are you upset? I said, yeah, I'm upset. That's what it was. Oh, why are you upset for? I said, because, baby, I said,
no, you weren't nice.
I said,
it wasn't.
I'm going to let you can, how you want to do it. This is how it happened. I said, baby.
Say baby.
Although I know you're a little stressed right now, the fact that Halloween's coming up, Thanksgiving, Christmas, we're shutting down the backyard and, everything's going on in the house. I said, I know you're a little stressed out right now. I said, but I really feel uncomfortable walking in there. And I said, I would please appreciate if you didn't have me walk into that place with all them kids and girls. Like, it makes me feel uncomfortable, and I just don't want to do it. Oh.
That's how I sounded.
Oh. I need you to.
You can hear me, because you can hear me sounding like that, right?
I'm speaking. I will let you give your side of the story.
Uh-huh.
So to the jury out there, she's like, oh, now you can't drop off your daughter to her dance class? I said, baby, last time I put her outfit on backwards. I don't like walking past all those kids. They're coming out the bathroom. They're getting dressed. They're getting changed. And I just don't want to be there. Like, I don't want to be there. Ow. I make sacrifices every day, B, that you don't like. I do shit that you don't like.
What I sounded like, I guess.
I said, babe, we don't even have to go there. I'm just really just trying to be a team player in this relationship and tell you what I don't like. I said, if you said you don't like something, I wouldn't do it. Ow, like what? I said, you said you don't like anal, so we don't do it. Fine, Rashawn, fine. Bang, and bangs on me.
None of this happened.
That's what happened.
None of this happened.
That's what happened.
And that's how I sound?
Yeah.
That's what you hear?
Yeah.
Ow, 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 ow.
My ow is ow.
Ow.
It's ow.
Oh,
Or she goes, what?
I do that.
What?
My eyes don't
sound like
back.
a goat.
My eyes don't roll back when I say what, but no.
That's what happened.
That's not what happened.
Now watch this. Okay, now tell this lie.
What?
Tell this lie.
So what actually
Pinky up.
happened was you guys, there's going to be a little treat. We're doing a huge thing for Halloween that I'm really, really excited about. We're putting a lot of work into it, a lot of time, and SDOT is a part of it. And there's a lot of other things that we're doing business-wise. And that particular day, I had a lot of meetings. And Peyton has been in dance, I think this is her 4th week. So it's not written on the schedule. So I sent Rashawn a picture of the schedule, but for the addition of Peyton. And I remembered that she had dance, but I didn't remember that I didn't add it to the sheet that I took a picture of and sent to him. So he didn't know. So when London told him that Peyton, in fact, had dance and that he was going to have to go and grab her early, he called me and was like, oh, Peyton has dance? And I was like, yes, Peyton has dance. He was like, oh, why didn't you tell? I said, clearly, I forgot. So yes, you are, in fact, going to have to go and pick her up. Oh, so then what? Who's taking her to dance? I said, unless I can clone myself and be in 2 places at one time, you are going to have to take her.
Your Honor, you hear the attitude? You hear that attitude? Now add 10 to it. Ow, ow, ow.
No.
Clone me. Oh, I got to clone myself? Ow, 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 ow. I want to get this clear. Okay.
No, this is exactly how I sound. This is exactly how I speak. I think you really have a double filter. I honestly think that when I say something, there's a filter that exists between the two of us, that I say something in one tone and certain words come out of my mouth, but when it goes through this filter, he hears it so aggressively.
You know what? You can't break my soul. You can't break my soul. Okay, continue on with these lies. Mercedes just walked in. She's lying. Freaking lying.
So like I was saying, he had an attitude. So I asked him, do you have an attitude? And he said, I mean, yeah. And I was actually kind of shocked because we treat each other with such kindness and we really do, in fact, accommodate each other. And when something is understandable, the other one just picks up the reins and goes with it. So I was surprised that he had this pushback. So I said, well, why do you have an attitude? And he said, because just like he said, I don't want to go in and the girls are changing. The girls are not changing. This facility is open. It has big windows in the front. The girls are already dressed.
But you have to walk to the back.
They are dropped off dressed. And when they change in the bathroom. So nobody is changing. Rashawn, for whatever reason, maybe it's the reason that he gave you, it makes him feel uncomfortable. And he didn't want to do it. And I said, I understand that you feel uncomfortable and you don't want to do it. But guess what? We all sometimes have to do things that we don't want to do.
I'm going to remember that tonight. It's going right in the donkey.
Does that take one for the team?
You got to take one too. We all like to do things we don't want to do. All right, we'll see tonight.
I mean, listen, it was good for the goose.
Good for the gander, that's right.
So anyway, I'm like, sometimes you literally just have to. So he kept going. And I was like, well, you know what? I'm sorry, but too bad. I'm busy. And what I didn't like is that when Rashawn has business to conduct, it's always priority. And I always say, don't worry, babe. I got it. So many things that I don't want to do or that don't fall under the headline of my job, I do because it makes his life easier. Because I want him to be able to do what he has to do without any worry, any concern, not thinking about how his wife feels. I never want to be a nag. I never want to be extra baggage. I never want to put extra things on him. So anything he says, I'm like, no problem. I got it. Just go do you. Go be great. And this time, I didn't get the same thing. I could have dealt with that. I mean, I definitely would have put it in my back pocket, but I could have dealt with it. Next thing you know, he comes home. I'm in the middle of my meeting, this particular meeting with SDOT, and he comes home and basically damn near yeets the baby at me. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm dropping the baby off with you so you can get her changed, you can get her ready. I'm going to drop off the girl, then I'm going to come back and get her. I said, yeah, that back and forth is going to take about 30 minutes that I don't have. I'm sitting here in the middle of a meeting with SDOT. My time is limited today. I have other things I have to do today. I had meetings earlier that day. SDOT has things that he has to do. We have a slew of things that we have to go through. I cannot deal with the baby right now. So all you have to do is just keep her in the car seat. Go ahead. Go back to the garage, strap her into the car seat, keep her there. All Rashawn does is drive to dance, pull up. The girls hop out. They say, bye, Dad. They blow each other kisses, and then he drives right back home. He didn't want to take the baby for the ride. And I said, why wouldn't you want to take the baby for the ride? Oh, she's going to be crying and yelling and screaming, asking for you. So I'm just dropping her. I don't want to deal with that. So it's about you not wanting to deal with that. So you don't care about inconveniencing me, interrupting my meeting. You're not going to take one for the team. It was nobody's fault. It was just one of those things that happened. So you're not riding. You're just like going to spite me for something that I wasn't wrong about, drop the baby off as though what I'm doing is unimportant. And I didn't like that. So I said, okay, no problem. Just remember, I'm going to keep that same energy. And he dropped the baby off. So I couldn't even concentrate on the meeting because I was really thinking about how I was going to spite him the entire time to the point where Esther kept saying, I feel like you're not here with me. You just keep like staring off into space. And I was like, yeah, I'm thinking about how I'm going to make his life miserable and how every opportunity that I have to help him, I'm not going to take. That's where my head was at. So then he came back. Oh, and I said to him, because he had a choice to undo what he had done. I said to him, are you sure this is what you want to do? Are you sure this is what you want to do? And he said, yes. I was like, oh, shots fired. Okay, I got something for you.
Gang, gang.
I got something for you. And that's really the type of energy that we had. So he came back and I
picked the baby up. She was dressed like I told her. Get the baby dressed. And the baby was dressed. Like I said, dress the baby. To the listener that's not black, cover your ears. Dress the baby.
Stop. I can't.
And she dressed the baby.
I can't.
And I said, that's what I'm talking about. I picked the baby up and I took her to class. And I didn't even walk in.
Just yeeted her.
I said, London, you walk her in. Now I'm taking, well, Mom, on you. You walk her in.
I don't know. Do you think you get like brownie points for that?
Mm.
So.
All right. You said your side. I said my side. There's no more.
So you came back home and the attitude persisted. But when you left, I could sense that Estat was scared for your life. Am I right?
Me and Estat wasn't even thinking about you.
No, Estat was definitely thinking about you. Estat, when I was plugged into our meeting, he couldn't be plugged in because he was literally scared for your life. Right or wrong, Estat? Right. Say it a little bit louder.
That's spiteful.
You could tell, right? I was seething. And this is something small, but there was a power play.
Don't point at me.
No, that's not pointing at you like that.
Don't point at me.
I wasn't pointing at you.
Don't you point at me.
It was like, if it's two fingers, am I pointing? It was like a power play.
That's kinky.
That's kinky. It was like a power play. Like he was going to show me that he could pull rank on me and drop the baby off. And there was nothing that I could do about it. And it was just honestly, it was complete disrespect for my time and my meeting because you didn't want to hear the baby cry.
So can we get back to the whole thing? So
That's what happened.
So when do you realize when you just let small things go and small things don't argue?
Revisiting it now, I think I made the wrong choice. I don't think I should have let that go.
It's too late now.
Actually,
It's too late now.
I feel like we might have to go through this conversation.
We already fucked after that. It's too late now.
That nullified it? Oh, okay. But yeah, that was completely deserving of a conversation. Through my grace, I decided to let that go.
So when do you let things go? When things are small?
When you feel like being graceful.
All right, well, let's
When
go.
you feel like being
All right.
graceful.
Okay.
Either that or, no, but seriously, we have to address, like, what's the question?
I
We
was
have-
asking.
No, I know, but we have to answer it.
Well, that is the question. When you said when you feel like being graceful, I look at it differently. I look at it if it's nothing, if you can let something go and really let it go where it doesn't start an argument, it's something small. Because in my opinion, most little arguments or most big arguments start with something very, very, very little. It's something so stupid that y'all could have laughed about. And it's the persistent arguing, or it's the ego, it's the pride, it's the disrespect. Is, oh, you gonna do this? I'm gonna do this. Or you gonna, oh, word? Well, this is what you wanna do? Yes, this is what I wanna do. Okay, well, I'm gonna do it. Then fucking do it. I'm gonna do it. And it gets to a point where it's like, we just could have just said, all right, fuck that. Is a word? You don't want to take the kid in? Well, here's your kid. Get a dress. I'm not getting a dress. All right, well, I'll be back in 20 minutes. Welcome back. Baby's dress. I told you, well, go drop her off. It just gets to that level. But sometimes it's ego and pride. And
Was it not your ego and pride?
yeah, I admit it. Yeah, it was ego and pride. But sometimes in relationships,
So why didn't you let that go?
I couldn't at that point. Because I just couldn't.
So you have to be graceful when you're ready.
No, but I should have been. But I should have been. But
Are you going to say that you were wrong and that you apologize? Because we never got to that because I let it go.
no, we're not talking
No,
about
but
that.
I want to know. I want to know.
We're not going.
No,
in
but
that
I'm
direction.
asking you. I'm going in that direction.
You're not letting this argument go. And that's
No,
part
but
of the
now,
problem.
but now, because
And that's what I said about women
you didn't
earlier.
have to.
Women didn't
You
want to let
chose
things
this
go.
topic.
No, because it was just about, it wasn't about the topic. It was about letting the
Well,
argument go.
now, and look at us now. Here we are.
I'm sorry.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
No, I want to feel it.
I'm sorry.
No, I want to feel it. I want to know. Are you actually sorry?
I am. Yeah.
You say how your voice went kind of high.
I
at the
am.
end? Exactly.
I am.
No, I need an apology.
I apologize.
I need to feel it.
Okay, kiss.
No,
No, stop. Come on.
But tell me what you did wrong. I want to know seriously.
We're not going through this here.
No, I want to.
No,
You brought them here.
No.
You brought them here.
No. The conversation.
No, I'm asking you.
The
So now you're being,
conversation-
now this is your ego again. I'm asking you a question. The moral of the story is don't let your ego get in the way of your love.
Because there's layers
Okay?
of this.
There's layers.
And we're going to let it go.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
No.
We're letting this go.
Can we not do this?
No.
Can't you? See, it's the ego. It has a grip on you. I'm not going to let it go.
And fellas,
I'm not going to let it go.
Fellas, sometimes you got to know when to say when. When.
No, that's not you saying when, right?
No means no.
No. So listen. Seriously, see now, listen.
Look.
I'm asking you.
No, because it's a long
Just- no,
conversation.
so you're not really see? That's what a fake apology
No,
looks
it's
like.
not. No.
An apology under duress.
No. But just say that you were wrong for not knowing the schedule.
I was wrong for not knowing the schedule.
You didn't have the schedule right.
You need an apology for me making a mistake by
Yes.
sending you the schedule that was devoid of Peyton's dance class.
My feelings were hurt.
That was a
And if my
simple,
feelings were hurt.
excuse me,
My feelings
that
were
was
hurt.
a simple oversight and that doesn't warrant an apology.
My feelings were hurt.
Your feelings weren't hurt.
They were.
No, they weren't.
If my feelings are hurt, you should apologize to make me feel better.
That doesn't make any sense.
Make me feel better.
And like I said,
Make me feel better.
if it's,
Make me feel
do I not always have the caveat? If it is reasonable, that's not reasonable. So I can't concede to that. You were wrong.
Let's discuss after. I don't want to discuss now. Let's discuss after.
You don't want to discuss it now?
No.
Isn't that what this podcast is?
No, I don't want to discuss it now because I want to hear from these people. I want to hear from the people out there. You heard both sides. Who's wrong
I'm
and who's
so
not wrong.
nice.
If you have to say I'm so nice,
I am.
you ain't that motherfucker.
I
nice.
am. I was nice to forgive you.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
See,
I want the
hold on.
people.
I also want to show you. This is what harbored resentment looks like,
Let's move on.
and fake apologies.
Ooh, the wind is blowing crazy.
So,
Blowing chairs over. So let's do this.
So-
I want to hear from the people.
okay.
Please. And then next week, we're gonna take a little poll of how many people said they agreed with me, or agree with the
Where
mean
my
lady,
people at?
agree with
Where
the
are
mean
my
lady,
people?
and then we'll discuss. Okay.
We're gonna take a poll.
I started saying the email is perfect. So let's continue on.
I don't feel. Okay. I'm gonna say this.
That's the thing.
I'm going to say this.
Production thing.
I will. This is a perfect example.
Is that a fly? What the fly come from?
Okay.
See, the fly knows she's wrong. You see the fly buzzing around her? That's God saying, look, you're wrong. Keep it moving. Go ahead.
This is a perfect example of a situation that should not have been let go. Because look at everything that bubbled to the surface.
She
right?
should not have let go, but she's still going.
Well, because you reintroduced it. We didn't have to talk about this. You brought it up. That was your choice. You made that choice, right? Okay. So harbored resentment that you can't even apologize for because something is still gnawing at you. So that, fake apologies, and ego. Those are three things that we covered today.
Oh, my goodness.
Saw it in live time.
I love you.
I don't know if I can kiss you right now. You're gonna say sorry and mean it? You're gonna say sorry and mean it? You're gonna say sorry and mean it? Just say sorry and mean it. You say sorry, you mean it?
I said sorry, I mean it.
Okay.
In this portion of the Casey Group broadcast, the Casey Group podcast is brought to you by...
Is it a podcast?
You're making me laugh. And this portion of the Casey Crew podcast is brought to you by Azuna. Now, Azuna is a company that makes all type of products like air fresheners, cleaning wipes, and so many other things. So let me tell you about Azuna and what I love Azuna so much. So right here, this is like the wipes. Now, these wipes are for cleaning anything. You can clean varnished wood. You can clean stone, tile, plastic, glass. And it makes it smell fresh. Now, this doesn't use toxins that can actually hurt you and cause cancer or anything like this. Everything is natural. So these are pretty much safe. And this right here is the air freshener. This is an odor eliminator. Now, the dope thing about this, it just doesn't spray, it smells good. No, this actually fights the problem. So if there's mildew, if there's mold, if you got nasty sneakers, this actually fights it and makes it smell good. And these things are natural. So you can use it you can use it if you want to make a room smell good. You can just give it a little, the room will smell
You're
great.
mad at your wife because she wants you to apologize for something you don't want to apologize for.
Right. So like, she's mildew right now. So if I spray her, she would actually evaporate. But no, but this is the type of spray that you can use it on anything. You can use it to clean. You can clean sinks. You can clean garbage cans. You can do anything on any of these products. And if you're like me and you have a car and your car might smell not too great, usually because your kids drop French fries in between the seats, or you have a son that plays soccer and he stinks and he takes his cleats or he takes his shirts off in your car, or you have a bunch of girls that do dance and they leave their stuff all over your car, all you have to do is put this in your car, you take off the top, and this will make your car smelling good. And like I said, it actually fights the odor. So it's not just a fresh smell and then when it's over, it stinks. No, it actually finds the odor. I don't know how. I don't know how, but it smells absolutely positively good. So salute.
This is cute. Like,
Yeah.
It's a cream?
Well, it's a cream, but you don't put the cream anywhere. So what you do
I
is...
know, but that's...
I'm going to show you exactly what you do. So you close this right here. And all you do is you take this little tab off right here.
Mm-hmm. You pull the tab?
Yep.
Yeah, it's like a...
You pull it off.
Uh-huh.
Right, just like this. And it has the holes. And then the holes just let...
Plus the... Uh-huh. But it's just interesting what's the substance inside. I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you get a chance, check out Azuna. Make sure you pick it up. This is, if you have kids or anything like this is very, very, way healthier, no toxins, and it's pretty dope. So you can go to Azuna Fresh if you want to on Instagram, or just hit up Azuna, Azuna, on Amazon or any of those places, and definitely pick up your Azuna Fresh. So salute to them for sponsoring. I actually went to the football game with them this week, and they're shout out to the whole staff. They are very good people and they want to save their environment. The only thing I would say, these are not wipes. So you cannot wipe your ass with them. You cannot wipe your baby's ass with them. And you cannot flush them. These are not wipes. They are to clean.
They are the type of people that would have made that mistake. Thank you for clarifying.
No, I would have. Like when I seen it,
You, on the other hand.
I almost wiped the baby with it one day. I was like, probably was doing it, but it's like, it's not a wipe, you idiot. It's for cleansing. But this is actually, it's naturally fresh. It's biodegradable, and it has a hint of lemon. So
tea tree oil cleansing wipes or cleaning wipes.
That's right.
Okay, great.
All right, so salute to Azuna. Now, let's get to Pillow Talk.
What's in, what's out, what's up, what's down, who's trending? I wanna know now. Can we talk? Can we pillow talk now? Can we talk? Let's pillow talk now.
Now, Pillow Talk is a segment on the show where we talk about what's going on in the news, or what's going on in celebrity news, I should say. Now, today's Pillow Talk is about a young lady named Kayla Nicole. You might not know who Kayla Nicole is. Kayla Nicole was actually dating Travis Kelce before Taylor Swift. Now, Travis Kelce plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. He's a wide receiver. Now, Kayla Nicole was doing a podcast. She was doing Angel Reese's podcast. You know who Angel Reese is? WNBA player? Of course you do. She was doing a podcast, and they had a conversation about 50-50. There was a rumor that the reason that they broke up is because he didn't want to go 50-50, and she didn't want to go 50-50. Let's play the clip.
I know there was a rumor that they were saying that you stopped messing with him at one point because of 50-50. Is there water? Where did the water go? What? What is the question? The who? 50-50. Remember they were saying that you said he was cheap, or they were saying that you were...
Oh, the splitting the bills.
The splitting 50-50, yeah, the 50-50 rumor. What was the tea on that?
Yeah, do I look like anybody that would split anything?
So you guys broke up at that point because...
No, this is the question. Do I look like I would go 50-50 on bills?
No.
Okay. So yeah, that was ridiculous. But he addressed that too, though. I don't even know why that even became a thing. Yeah, that was never an issue in our relationship, but it was definitely a rumor on the internet.
So what is your thoughts?
Do you know the actual reason why they broke up, or was that actually it?
No, that wasn't the reason.
So you're asking me how I feel about going 50-50?
No, I'm asking what she said. When she said, do I look like somebody that goes 50-50?
I mean, basically what she's implying is that she's so beautiful.
Correct.
And so sought after.
Correct.
That she is in the category of women that doesn't have to pay for herself.
Correct.
And she is a beautiful girl. I don't know. Oh, you guys did just see the clip. We just played it for you. She is a beautiful girl. And the truth of the matter is that is what society dictates.
But does beauty relate if you're going to pay 50-50? So if you're ugly,
not talking about
you got to
whether,
pay 90-10?
No, I'm not talking about whether it's right or not. I'm talking about what society dictates. Beautiful women tend to have their way in relationships. And men, successful men, tend to spoil those women and give those women the things that they feel it would take to keep those women.
But does that make it right?
I didn't speak on whether it was right or not.
I'm listening.
I'm just talking about where she's coming from.
Okay.
And giving a little beef to her statement.
Mm-hmm.
But that's pretty much how society works. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So...
It's bullshit, but go ahead.
So she's speaking to that. So she's probably speaking to her experience.
She's speaking to how she feels, it seems like.
No,
somebody like me, do I look like the type of woman that plays 50-50? She's speaking to how she feels, which I think is crazy.
Which is probably bolstered by her experience. That has probably been her experience. And like I said, she's a beautiful girl.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, watching that clip, that's not hard to believe, realistically.
Yeah, but the problem is...
That has probably been her experience.
Not what she believes, the problem is what she thinks. Yeah, you can say, yeah, but it's almost like you're saying that my beauty dictates what I'm worth.
Are you living in the same society as the rest of us?
That's not how it works.
It's not right. No, actually.
Because
no, you're talking about reality.
I'm going to break it down. Go ahead.
I'm trying.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're talking about reality from an idealistic perspective and reality from a realistic perspective. And in our society, have you been on Instagram? Have you been on the internet? Have you been on YouTube? Beauty does in many ways dictate people's worth, or at least they feel that way. That's why so many women are out there having all of these cosmetic procedures. That's why there's so much insecurity. Mm-hmm. That's why some young girls are committing suicide because of how they're received on social media. I mean, I could sit here for 10 minutes and give you an example after example after example after example. That is what our society is kind of rooted in. I wish it was rooted in morals and ethics and actual true self-worth and security. And I could go on for 10 minutes about that. But a large part of it is, in fact, rooted in how we appear to be, what we look like, how we dress, our hair, our nails, our wigs, our makeup, what we carry, what we wear on our feet, how we dress. So I'm just saying, we can be cute about it and say, oh, no, I think that she's speaking to her experience as a beautiful girl and the treatment that she's received. So is it ignorant to say, do I look like the type of girl that goes 50-50? Yes, of course it's ignorant, because her self-worth shouldn't be rooted in those things. And she should probably say to herself, yes, that's the type of treatment that I receive, but it's not necessarily the type of treatment that I may or may not deserve. Do you understand what I'm saying? She should know better, but she made that statement publicly. So to me, it comes across as ignorant. Absolutely. As far as 50-50, I think people get so caught up in the idea of 50-50, you know, whether the girl goes 50-50 or the guy wants to go, or if the guy pays for everything and whatnot. I really think that it's about what the relationship dictates. What is our relationship? Are there things that we want to do together as a couple that maybe only one of us can afford? Are you the breadwinner? Or am I able to? It shouldn't be about I'm beautiful, you're successful, so that is just your role. It should be about what makes sense for us as a couple. So for instance, if I were the breadwinner in a particular relationship, I wouldn't feel, okay, well, I'm a woman, so I'm not going to extend all of these financial courtesies to my man. I would take care of the vast majority of everything while he's trying to get his life right, while he's trying to get his ambition right, his success right, his hopes, his dreams right. I will support that because that's what the relationship is dictating. It has nothing to do with being a male or a female or, you know, I'm not going to share with you because I feel as though I'm above that. I think that people kind of get caught up in that. And you all know, I believe in traditional roles. But at the same time, in our relationship, you carry far more of the financial burden than I do. So if we were just dating and, you know, we wanted to do this and that and yes, I would expect that if you want to do those things with me, and if it's not something that I could afford, I would expect you to take on those burdens. But if the roles were reversed and I was the one that was able to afford it, then I would assume those burdens. It has nothing to do with male, female, this, that, and the other. Being in a relationship, I expect for my man to pull out the chair. There are things that I absolutely believe in traditional roles about. And also if I'm dating, but then it kind of goes into this too. Now, if I'm dating you and we're first starting to date, and I've said this on previous podcasts, I expect you to be a gentleman and I expect for you to treat me. I expect for you to show me that you want me. I do expect those traditional acts from you. But once we are in a relationship and we've decided that it's us, it's about us winning as a couple. And it's about what is in the best interest of us as a couple.
I will say this. If my daughter says something like that, I would tackle her, right? And the reason I would tackle her is because, in my opinion, she's making her value how she looks. And we all know that, you know, looks decline most of the time, right? Your tits start to sag, your ass starts to sag, you start to gain a little weight. Everybody gets wrinkles. You get gray hair. Things happen. You can't value the way you are as a person based off your look. So when I heard, do I look like the person that pays 50-50? In situations like that, I feel like she has a great opportunity of blocking her blessings because you never know how somebody starts, right? And does that mean if somebody looks a little uglier than you, then maybe it should be they got to pay 90 and he pays 10? Or somebody that looks better than you, maybe it's 60-40, 70-30. And I just think that sounds so stupid. Now, to me, if there's a relationship, there's this thing called, that people forgot about and maybe people don't mention anymore. This thing called love. This thing called wanting to be with somebody regardless of the ups and downs. And I don't know the young lady, but somebody like that would scare me, right? And the reason I say she would scare me is because I would feel like if things didn't go right, then she would leave because she's expecting, do I look like the type to pay 50-50? I pay nothing. So what happened if I break my ankle and I can't pay? You're gone? What happened if whatever I'm doing falls apart or there's an accident or I get in a car accident, I'm paraplegic or whatever it may be, you're out? That's what that showed me in that clip. Maybe you're different. Maybe it's just a clip. Maybe it's long form. Maybe it's something that I'm missing. But what I've seen and what I looked at, that wasn't the situation. And I just didn't like that. I remember the time when Gia bought my first Concord needles. Now, if you don't know what a Concord needle is, when you're DJing, there's these needles that stick out like this that you can DJ with. Now, these needles, I think at the time were maybe $150
They're
each.
$200
each, right? $200 each, something like that. So they were very, very expensive back then. You got to think this was when we were kids. I couldn't afford them at the time. So Gia bought them for me. Now, Gia could have had the same situation as him. Do I look like the time to pay 50-50? Yeah, there was times where, you're right. Do I look like the type to pay 50-50? Because there was times where Gia was paying 100 and I was paying nothing because I didn't have it. Now, things have changed and I started working and my career took off and this, that, and the other. It's different. But she never looked at me like that and I never looked at her like that. And when you look at somebody like that, I think it sets the relationship up in a bad predicament from the start. I just didn't like that. And I seen a lot of women saying, yeah, girl, get it, girl. Yeah, girl. Yeah, girl. Yeah, girl. Which I thought was a little crazy.
Because they're part of that society.
They're part of that society.
Supports that mentality.
Correct. And like I said, and that's why I work so hard on my daughters to make sure that they are independent, that they do have mom and dad to fall back on, because I never would want them to be in a relationship like, do I look like the type to pay 50-50? No. I want my daughter to be like I look like the type that I'm going to pay for the whole thing if my man is messed up. If my husband has a bad month, a bad day, a bad weekend, loses his job, my daughter's the type to be like, I'm going to hold the fort down until you get back up and then we can do this together. That's what I'm saying. That's all I have to say with that.
Yeah, that's what's in the best interest of the couple.
Correct.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear what you say. You can always email us or leave a comment, thekcrew@gmail.com, thekcrew@gmail.com. All right, now let's get to the email of the week.
If you don't know what to do or say, put it in a letter, just send it, we'll read it in the email of the day. The email of the day.
And I want to salute to Blind Beauty. Blind Beauty is actually doing all our segments. We appreciate you, Blind Beauty. Blind Beauty is, she's blind, of course. She's a musician. She's a writer. She's a producer. She is very dope. I hope she gets an opportunity because she is so talented. I met her, I said a couple of months ago, and she is dope. She deserves the world. I'll tell you a little thing about Blind Beauty. I know she listens. Like I said, you can follow her on Instagram. I think it's @BlindBeauty. But she's very talented. She's an amazing singer, amazing writer. She had her ups and downs in life, but she is fighting through it. Blind Beauty actually lost her child. Yeah, she lost her kid. Her baby father had the baby. And I'll say allegedly because I don't remember the story, but I think it was one of those things where he actually slept on the baby. Yeah, and the baby passed away. So she's been going through a lot. She's a very strong individual. And Blind Beauty, we are forever grateful for supporting us and doing these songs and writing these clips and all this other stuff. We always appreciate you. Thank you so much, Blind Beauty.
Thank you.
Now, let's get to the email of the week. All right. Quick question. I need some help. I'm with my wife. That's what it says. I'm not reading it wrong, but I'll help him out. I'm with my wife. We are both in our 30s, but I don't know if this is normal. But every argument gets intense so much that she puts her hands on me. And more, she always cursing at me, and she talks secretly to other men. This English is a little crazy. She used to blame me, saying that I wasn't there because I used to be on drugs, but I'm sober now. But ever since I got sober, it got worse. We do have an 11-month-old son, and I don't want to leave him because she's the type to say I'm leaving my family even after she will tell me no one wants you, you ain't shit. I don't want you here anymore. But then when I start making arrangements to leave, and then she would say I'm leaving my family and more. And it's so hard because I don't want to leave my son, and I feel like I will miss a lot, and I feel stuck. And I say, but the behavior hasn't stopped, and I don't know what else to do or say. If I mention it, it becomes another problem. Should I suck it up and just be there for my son and just stay in this relationship, or should I leave? But if I leave, she's the type also to not let me see him, and I'm just stuck and don't know what to do. If you can please help me or let me know because I really need help. Thank you, guys. Okay. What do you think?
What do you think?
Okay, this is a simple one.
Because you're a man.
Okay. All right. Now, this is what it sounds to me. You didn't say don't say your name, so I'm going to say your name.
Don't say his name.
It doesn't say don't say his
It
name.
doesn't matter. What do you get out of saying his name?
Okay. Charles. I'll call him Charles.
Right.
His name's not Charles.
Like, what?
I was going to say something a little racist, but I ain't going to say it.
What's wrong with you?
When she
Stop
said...
it. I don't know what you're going to say.
When
but
he
don't say it.
said she put his hands on him and beat him up, guess what race it is?
I don't play that game.
Oh, okay.
I don't play that game.
Okay. All right.
You can keep your ignorance on your show.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
I vibrate above that. I laugh though when I hear it.
All right.
I just don't want to participate.
All right. So now shout to the young homie, Wepa. All right. Now.
You're stupid.
And now, I'm gonna be honest, right? I feel like those years that you were using drugs, she never got over it, right? And in my opinion, it still has some type of trauma or some type of hurt. So she doesn't look at you, in my opinion, as a man.
She doesn't respect you.
She doesn't respect you as a man. She still looks at you as that druggie or that alcoholic or whatever that you was on. And that is a problem. But, you know, I'm not going to say that it's right, but you can't blame her because I'm sure when you were on drugs or you were on alcohol or whatever drug that you was doing, you weren't in your right mind and she had no respect for you because she wanted you to stop. Most people don't realize that drugs, it's an addiction. And a lot of the moves that you make, a lot of the decisions that you made were not that you weren't in your right mind, but that you were addicted to drugs, which is such a sad thing. I don't think you guys ever got help as a couple. So I'm sure there's things that make her go back to those days of probably when you hurt her or probably when you took her for advantage or probably when you didn't take her serious. And she always goes back to that because she hasn't forgiven you. Now that you have a baby, I think a lot of times in relationships, most people feel like when you have a child, that child is going to fix everything. But usually the child makes things more difficult because there's no more responsibility. And a lot of times it doesn't bring the love back to where it needs to be. You have sobered up, you have changed, and you're trying to make it work. But I think together, there's some issues that you guys haven't solved. I don't know how those issues can be solved because it seems like you can't have a conversation with her because every time you try to have a conversation with her, she smacks the ish out of you or smacks you with an empanada. So in my opinion, in my personal opinion, I would say you guys, if you want to be in this relationship, and not just because of the kid, because at the end of the day, the kid can't keep the relationship together. If you want to be in this relationship and you want it to work, I think that you guys might need outside help. All right. And
sure they don't have to have a conversation?
With the outside help. And the reason I say that with the outside help is because you need a referee. You need somebody in between to make sure that they can see both sides and make sure that she doesn't beat you up anymore. But you also got to remember that you cannot put your hands on her regardless. If it's starting to get too violent and too this way, you might have to leave until you get that help because you don't want to put yourself in a predicament where you guys are hitting each other. Not one for each other, but also for your child. You don't want your child seeing that. I mean, your child's only 11 months old, but as your child gets bigger, you don't want her to think love is hitting each other. So I would advise for you guys to try to get help. You're going to have to talk her into it because it seems like she does not want help. She feels away. But to make this relationship work and to be better for your child, you need help. You can't stay in a relationship where you're getting beat up each and every day and you're just there for the kid because what's going to wind up happening is you're going to explode sooner or later. And that explosion could be on her. It could be on your child. It could be in a relationship. It could be in a form of arguing, yelling, or possibly hitting. So I would say you need to find somebody that's going to help you and can be that referee and can listen to both sides. It might be that you guys are not meant for each other. Or it might be, maybe she'll see, hey, I'm approaching this wrong and I shouldn't put my hands on him. Maybe I'm approaching this wrong and maybe we need to have a conversation. But to me, it feels like there's some trauma from before, from whatever that you did when you said, you know, you're sobered up now, before you were sobered up, and she's still living in that moment. And you have to break that cycle and make sure that you guys can get on the same playing field where you guys can possibly, hopefully, give each other a little grace and, you know, hopefully settle it out, apologize to each other, forgive each other, and then start over if that's where y'all both want to be. Because it sounds like, as of right now, you want to be in a, well, it sounds like you both want to be in a relationship because she's telling you to leave, you ain't shit. And then when you're about to leave, she'll be like, you leaving your family. So it sounds like she wants to be there, but it sounds like you just have some things that she wants you to fix. And it sounds like you want her to fix some of those things. What do you think?
I think everything that you said was so insightful. I agree with everything that you said. I do want to point something out, though. You know what was kind of screaming at me?
Wepa. What? What?
Can't stand you.
I love you.
Sometimes.
I love you all the time.
That yin and yang that we have going on. What was screaming at me was a little bit of selective outrage.
What do you mean?
If this email was written by a woman and the roles were reversed, you would be screaming from the hilltops
For her to leave.
domestic abuse.
Absolutely. It's domestic abuse now.
Saying that she should leave.
Absolutely.
And no one should suffer that type of treatment,
I feel like with him.
disrespect, and danger. But you didn't scream it from the mountaintops.
Sure.
And I want to know, why is that?
Because nobody cares about when a man gets beat up from a woman. Just like...
Including you?
No, I do care. I do, but nobody cares. It's effed up and fucked up. Nobody cares when a man rapes another man. Or
I think people care.
No.
I think people care.
No.
I think people
they don't care like if it's a man raping a woman. If a man rapes another woman, the first thing is gonna be jokes at first. Then after the jokes, that is gonna be
You mean if a man rapes a man?
If a man rapes a man, the first thing people think about is jokes. They're gonna be like, oh, was you in jail? Did you drop the soap? That's what's funny to people. If a man rapes a woman, it's totally disrespectful. It's totally wrong. It's just how it is. If a man hits a woman, that man should be canceled. He's fucked up. He's the worst. If a woman hits a man, it's not the same feeling. I don't know why society looks at it that way. I look at it that way, but I don't know why society looks at it the way. The only reason I said, maybe he shouldn't leave is because, it's fucked up. He shouldn't get beat up. But it is what it is.
Sometimes
because you can smack the shit out of me right now and people will be like, ooh. But if I smack the shit out of you, people are like, you should leave him. Fuck him. Da-da-da-da. It just is what it is.
I don't think it should be tolerated either way.
I agree.
Maybe it's because I don't relate. So maybe I shouldn't say that I don't understand how people lose control. But I guess I don't, because I don't relate to that.
You have a good control of your emotions and your feelings that most people don't. Like, you can control your emotions, you can control your feelings. If Gia steps over the line for whatever it is, it's something serious. Even when you're arguing with somebody, if it's just something that happens outside in the street or whatever it may be, you're able to control your emotions and you think. Like, where most people don't think, they react off of emotions. You can actually think. If we're in a store and something's not right, or for instance, I'll tell you about the Concord where Gia was the one that brought me the needles, right? The guy got her. So the needles were $200 a needle, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they were for the needle that looks kind of like this. I'm putting it right this. But then there's a tip to the needle. The tip is this big. The tip is like $25. They sold Gia the tip and said it was the actual needle. So when she gave it to me for Christmas, I opened it up and I'm like, what the fuck is this? But I didn't say it like that, of course, but I told her.
The look on his face said that, though.
But she went back there and I would have wilded out. She went in there, she talking that talk. She went with her dad. Her dad didn't even have to speak, and she got it right back immediately. Gia is like that when she does everything. She can talk well, she speaks, she really thinks about and breaks it down. Gia should have been an attorney. Like, she really, really thinks about what the thing that she's going to say, and she delivers, and she's great on her toes. Me, I'm emotional. My first thing is, fuck you. That's the first thing it is.
It's
Yeah, and then it's suck my dick from the back. That is the
that
first.
Was too much.
But that's my first reaction. I'm ready to jump immediately. It's just who I am as a person. And even with the celebrity or the fame that people would say, it took me a long time to get used to, because when I started DJing and I started being known, people would be looking at me, and my first reaction is like, "What the fuck are you looking at?" That would be my first reaction. And even the people around me when I was first coming up would be the same way. Like, what the fuck? But you realize that they're looking at you because they see you on television. They see you on mixtape covers. And it's changed so much because of the emotion. I try to get to my emotions like you, where you think before you react. I react and then I think about how I'm going to clean it up because I didn't fuck some shit up. And that's the difference with us. But
yeah, I think the most I've ever done in this relationship was slam a door.
Mm-hmm.
And it happened once. And I remember when I was on the other side of that door,
mm-hmm.
Did you get the fly?
I did not get the fly. I don't know why. I thought
now it's buzzing around you.
This
time.
I thought it was like Mr. Miyagi,
You
like the
have some
Karate
bad
Kid.
juju
I could be
right
like this.
now.
Hey, I don't know why I thought I could just grab it.
Just missing the chopstick.
I just missed the chopstick. I'm sorry.
What was I saying?
You were saying you've never.
Oh, I was saying, I
slammed the door.
remember when I was standing on the other side of the door, thinking to myself, like, if I just slammed a door, like, I need to get my emotions in check. Like, that's not okay. Because I do like to be controlled. And that's what I'm referring to. You know, I don't understand. Well, no, again, that's wrong. I don't relate to someone being so overcome with their emotions that they resort to physical violence, especially within the sphere of a relationship. You know, out in the street could be a little bit different. My opinion could change if you're talking about something outside of a home, because maybe a stranger can get you to that type of level. But with someone that you love, where you want to put your hands on them, I don't really relate to that. So it shouldn't be tolerated either way. And I think that the outrage should be equal on both sides, because, you know, women aren't docile, fragile creatures. Like, if I punch you, you are going to feel it. And I might break a tooth or knock one out or something. You know, it can be very dangerous, obviously not as consequential as if a man hits you, but bad enough, you know? So I think that for me, the way that I would weigh in on it is to say, just like Rashawn said, you know, you do need an outside source to play the in-between, because if it is a respect issue, if it is an issue that is based upon your past, if she just has a problem with her temper, those things need to get sorted out. And I don't know that you have the tools to do it yourself, because it seems like you've been suffering through this for quite some time. Clearly, it's happened more than once, and telling her that you don't like it and that you won't stand for it hasn't been enough, and it's likely not going to be enough, because just like Oprah said, and we've all heard it 1,000 times, we've probably said it 1,000 times, but we teach people how to treat us.
Right.
And people only respond to two things. I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and I said, was it you? Oh, it was Estat. And it was somebody else, actually. But it's a reoccurring thing. People respond to positive reinforcement. Like, if someone does something amazing, you tell them how amazing they are. You pat them on the back. You give them a reward. You smile. You give them all of that positive reinforcement. But if someone does something that's not to your liking, then they're met with a consequence. A consequence tells them, hey, I don't want to do that again, because I don't want to suffer that consequence again. And those are the two things that motivate people to either do good or to do bad. So by not putting up a consequence for her actions, i.e. you leaving and actually staying gone, or you reporting the violence, or you doing something that would prove to her to be a consequence, you're allowing her to do that to you again. And if you do want to be there, then yes, leaving isn't really going to be the answer for you. Maybe it's teaching her that she can't put her hands on you. So I think that you need to invest some thought in the idea of what consequence would resonate with her.
That's right. And I will say this, get help, you know, and like Gia said, you know, you don't want to put yourself in a predicament where, you know, you're even defending yourself and you get in trouble. So definitely get help and let us know. You can email us at theekcrew@gmail.com. And I just want to say this in closing. I think I was on a trajectory to be.
I thought you were going to apologize.
What? Apologize for what?
How quickly he forgets.
From the stuff earlier? I apologized already. No, but I was going to say, I think that I was on a trajectory into being that type of person. I don't know how far it could have went or where it could have went, but I was that type of person where Gia was like, she doesn't slam the door. She slammed the door one time. I was a door slammer. I was going to throw a plate. I punched a hole in the wall. I was somebody that did not control my emotions well. And I let my emotions control me. There's been many a times where it could have got wrong. It could have been wrong so many different times. And by the grace of God, it didn't. I learned how to control my emotions, and I don't know how. I don't know what that trigger was. Maybe it was jail. Maybe it was losing my wife. Maybe it was just, who knows? But it just wasn't with Gia. It was just throughout life. I was a short fuse. And it's crazy because a lot of the things that somebody would say now and people would say now, I would have been all on their ass. But I think Instagram and social media allows you to calm down because everybody's a thug on Instagram. Everybody has something to say. But one of the best things I was able to do is be able to control my emotions and be able to take a step back and think. It's still difficult at times, but I'm still loose with the mouth pause. But physically, I was that guy, right? I was the guy that had a bunch of pennies in my car and somebody cut me off from throwing the pennies at their windshield. And if they get out the car, it is what it is. I was that stupid guy. I've learned to control those emotions, and I've learned to teach our kids how to control those emotions. Because at the end of the day, you know, you always have the big gun until somebody has a bigger gun, right? And, you know, like, you know, you have the knife or the bat until somebody pulls out a gun on you. You know what I mean? And we just have to learn. So get the help. And I hopefully that you guys can make it work for your family, for your kids. And if it's meant to be, it will be meant to be. And I hope that you're able to get what you want, brother.
I agree.
Seems like a lot of googly gosh, but you understand.
That wasn't googly gosh. That was
Okay.
true. How, I know you say you don't really remember. You don't remember how it was that you got your emotions in check?
Mm-mm. I don't.
I do, but that's for another podcast.
Oh, boy.
All right.
When she says that means let it go because I don't remember. All right. Well, it's time to get up out of here, man. We'll see you guys next week. And don't forget, I want to shout out to our sponsor again, Azuna. Azuna air fresheners, Azuna wipes, Azuna, this is the air freshener odor eliminator. I said odor eliminator for odor eliminator for automobiles. Did I say that right?
I think it's the odor eliminator.
She said it right. But if you want your car to smell good, definitely try this out. If you need to wipe your stuff down, whether it's your countertops, whether it's sneakers, whatever it may be, use the wipes. And if you want to spray some stuff that smells good, I'm not going to do that. But it does smell good and it eliminates the odor at the source. So whether it's mildew and all that other stuff, definitely check it out. I want you to get it for yourself. It's Azuna, A-Z-U-N-A. All right, we'll see you guys next week. I'm DEJ Envy.
And I am Kia Casey.
And that was another edition of the KC Crew.
Toodles.